Ever since the shooting death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, law enforcement has been at a crossroads in this country, facing a crisis of consciousness, as it were. People are starting to question whether or not the officers who are sworn to protect our communities are functioning from an aspect of, well, service and protection, or are they functioning from an aspect of implicit bias. The deaths of the likes of Eric Garner and Tamir Rice certainly haven't helped to alleviate that. And if anything, it's exacerbated the problem that is existing out there right now. Well, that's where I step in. I am a nurse and I am studying criminal justice aspects, which sorts throws out some questions out there. If you're a nurse, why are you studying criminal justice? But there is actually rhyme and reason to that, so bear with me a little bit. Nursing has a lot of different aspects, a lot of different values behind it. And one of the things that I'm looking at is public health. If law enforcement isn't able to interact with the population, with the public, with the community that they're there to serve and protect in a truthful and peaceful way, then the health of the public, the health of the communities tends to go down. Crime rates come up, there's more shootings, there's more drug addiction, there's crime. All of this reflects negatively into public health. And that's where my study comes into play. I'm looking at the public health aspect of criminal justice bias. Criminal justice implicit bias, I should say. But one of the challenges that I'm running into is that there's no real good direct measurement for implicit bias in criminal justice. We have the Harvard IAT, but that requires an officer to sit down on a computer, type out, go through the test, get the printout and say, here is your measurement of bias. But it doesn't allow us to measure bias in real time. So my work here at WSU is to create a new metric for implicit bias that requires facial expressions. Those minute, quick expressions, think of it as a poker player learning somebody's tells at the table. Record those facial expressions real fast in a high fidelity simulated environment. Then from that, build a new type of simulation training environment that allows officers to go to real-time training, set it up, train it on the fly, mix it up as necessary so that we can then train officers away from their implicit bias based upon what I'm seeing in their facial expressions, and hopefully increase public health outcomes, increase the good of the public health, as it were. Lower the crime rates, lower the drug use rates, increase trust between the officers and the communities, increase cooperation between officers and communities, because what we're going to have is a better training program, better outcomes for officers, and in the long run, better health of our communities. And that is my thesis in less than 3 minutes. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you listening to this.